Welcome into Geico Sports Night. I'm Gabe Cohen. Coming up, the Isles play an extra period against the Pens. John Neese gets roughed up in Atlanta, and the Nets make a big decision regarding PJ Carlesimo. But we start tonight at MSG, where the Knicks tipped off their series with the Pacers. 1 day of rest, a banged-up Carmelo Anthony. So, how would they fare? Hey, Cats fans, welcome into a very special Bull edition of Sports Night. Alongside Sam Levitt, I'm Gabe Cohen. Sam, it's official, the monkey is off Northwestern's back.
Welcome to this edition of News at Northwestern.
Coming up, we travel to Qatar, where Northwestern students in the Middle East are forging new pathways of openness in a very private society, while covering the changing world around them. Christina, while supporters of President Obama were celebrating at McCormick Place on the other side of downtown Chicago, Republicans were dealing with the fact that the president has been reelected. Tuesday, the Chicago Republican Party hosted an election night event at the Witt Hotel, and the evening started out positive.
I am so happy to be here with so many great Americans. Who said Chicago didn't have any good Republicans?
But as the results came in and President Obama's reelection became apparent, Romney supporters became uneasy.
President Obama didn't really lay out a vision for the next 4 years.
He seems to just kind of cave and do what, he thinks that the foreign countries are going to like us for.
Going forward, it's the same thing tomorrow as we had yesterday.
Romney supporters say so far President Obama's time in office has been defined by a lack of bipartisanship on major issues.
The first 2 years he owned both chambers of Congress, and we saw what happened. It was just a steamroll through bipartisanship.
While many attendees were disappointed with the election results, some politicians at the event stressed the importance of cooperating with President Obama moving forward.
I'm going to work with him, and I hope that each and every one of us get behind the President of the United States to make this the best country on this planet.
But overall, the election results bring more of the same. Republicans maintain majority of the House, Democrats still control the Senate, and President Obama will be in office for another term. Republicans hope to once again use the House to check the presidency, beginning next week when Congress reconvenes. Gabe Cohen, Northwestern News Network. Let's move to the ice. The Islanders gave their fans plenty of reasons to get excited Sunday. Nassau Coliseum provided the venue for the Isles' first home playoff game in 6 years. More than that, they headed into the game tied 1-1 in their series against the top seed in the East, Pittsburgh. And the game only gave them more reasons to shout. 60 minutes wouldn't be enough to settle this one. 18 years on death row for an act he did not commit. Damian Eccles spoke to NU students yesterday about wrongful convictions. With more on that story, NNN's Sharon Yu joins us live in the studio. Sharon? Simmons stressed that his work in the seminary has not only given him a unique perspective on business development, but has also helped keep him optimistic that Coffee Lab will in fact meet its goal of breaking even after 18 months. Reporting from Evanston, Gabe Cohen, Northwestern News Network. A Supreme Court case drew the attention of the nation. A Daily Northwestern article drew the ire of the community. Race-based affirmative action has become the debate on campus, and as John Rosenberg reports, the conversation isn't quieting. After serving Evanston residents for 35 years, the keg was finally tapped Monday. Controversy surrounded the keg of Evanston this month, but it wasn't the first time. Since 2005, the bar has received 147 citations and has even been temporarily shut down twice.
The establishment's had a couple chances to correct the behavior, and the mayor felt that this was the proper decision to make in regards to revoking the license.
The keg maintained a reputation of being the local bar for underage drinking. One Northwestern student who asked to remain anonymous described how lax the security really was.
I mean, people have walk up with pieces of trash, and basically he looks at it. So if he's facing you, he puts it under this piece of plastic, this little plastic box that basically looks like the push soap dispensers that you see anywhere, and then you walk in.
Mayor Tisdall released this statement with her decision Monday. She said, quote, "It is always an extremely difficult decision to revoke a license of a local business, but I have to also consider the health and welfare of the community as a whole. Serving minors alcohol is a serious matter that cannot be left unaddressed." But the mayor's decision affected more than just the keg. For other establishments like Nevin's Pub, it was a wake-up call that they need to crack down harder on underage drinking. The owner of Nevin's Pub distributed this new policy to his employees, which states that all patrons who look under 35 years of age must show a picture ID. Evanston First Liquors also installed ID scanners at their registers after a clerk was cited last Saturday for selling to a minor. Evanston police say this is smart.
In terms of police officers checking other establishments, that routine is going to continue, and if we receive complaints, we're obviously going to address them.
There's no doubt that consumption will continue, but businesses will try to stay one step ahead. Gabe Cohen, Northwestern News Network. Thanks, guys. The win in Jacksonville was not only momentous because it broke a drought, it also cemented a place in the history books for the graduating senior class. Sports Night's Natalie Lax has more from Jacksonville. That's right, John. The lacrosse season is heating up, but at Northwestern, football just finds a way to steal the top storyline, huh? After a loss against Indiana on Sunday, the Wildcats had another test squaring off against Tubby Smith's 12th-ranked Minnesota Golden Gophers. Could the Cats get their first home conference win of the year against the team that bounced them from last year's Big Ten tournament? The answer was a resounding yes. We're now joined in studio by Sports Night's lacrosse analyst Natalie Lax. Netta, this past weekend the Cats snatched 2 big wins against Penn and Penn State. What did these 2 victories show you about the team?
And he cuts back beautifully. Touchdown, Northwestern.
Who is Kane Coulter? Well, let's check out his bio. He's listed as a quarterback.
Opponent's trips. Persa again. Touchdown.
And he's a mere 6 feet, 190 pounds. I guess you can't really trust these things. All you can trust are results.
Let's go over the players of the game to start off with. Offensively, Kane Coulter was our offensive player of the game. It's the 4th time this season he's earned that award.
Coulter is making plays all over the field. He's the Cats' leading rusher with more than 500 yards on the ground. He's also caught 24 passes for more than 300 yards receiving. Oh, and he's humble.
You know, we got a great quarterback in Dan, first team All Big Ten last year, so, he definitely, is our guy out there. So anyway, I could be on the field and help the team out, whether it's at, receiver, maybe quarterback, running back. I'm just going to go out there and do it.
The sophomore can do it all, but his efficiency at the skill positions comes in large part from his quarterbacking.
Being a quarterback, you got to know everybody's position on the field, from offensive line to receiver. So you know exactly what routes they're running. And having, 2 quarterbacks at the same time, you're able to read the defenses.
With Persa on the field, Coulter has displayed his versatility at the skill positions. But Saturday, it was a lack of Persa that allowed him to showcase the whole package, something many Big Ten fans didn't think he had.
What our thoughts were, again, I think he gets a bad rap about his arm strength because of coming off of last year with a torn labrum. And the end of the season was really just about, 12 months removed from that surgery. But, that has not derailed him from his belief in what he can do.
The sophomore flew under the radar for much of the first half, but with this week's upset, he's solidifying his future with the team.
I expect him to be our quarterback.
While Coulter is expected to lead from behind center next year, his role for the rest of this season remains to be seen. Still, some of these questions should be answered this Saturday when the dynamic duo of Persa and Coulter take on the Rice Owls here in Evanston. From Ryan Field, Gabe Cohen, NNN Sports. Let's find out. Let's go to the Garden. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Both teams coming off only that one day of rest, and in the first quarter, Carmelo Anthony attacks the defense, goes right at the big man Roy Hibbert, sore shoulder and all, Knicks by 4. Late in the first quarter, Jason Kidd dishes to Raymond Felton. He pops the tray and nails it. Knicks by 5 after the first quarter. Carmelo Anthony here in the second quarter gets rejected by Hibbert, but he stays with it, lays it in between 3 defenders, Knicks up by 3. And late in the second quarter, Paul George feeds Brooklyn native Lance Stevenson for the acrobatic layup. Stevenson 11 points on the day. Pacers led by 6 at the half. In the third, Carmelo spins and finishes with the slam. Knicks down 8. Anthony 27 points, but only 10 for 28 from the field in this one. Later in the third, Knicks on the break. Tyson Chandler finishes strong. Knicks down 6. 5:25 to go in the third. David West off the pass from Hibbert gets the bucket and the foul. Pacers by 12 after the free throw. And later in the third, Stevenson gets the offensive rebound and finds DJ Augustine for the 3. He was huge in this one. Knicks trailed by 16 after 3 quarters. Pacers pulling away. In the fourth, Knicks down 9. Paul George makes the tough shot in traffic. Might have even been a foul there. Pacers by 11. Under 4 minutes to go, Knicks down 10. George Hill knocks down the clutch 3, and the Knicks lose this one. Game 1, 102-95. Mike Woodson not happy with his team's performance.